Hola mis amigos and possible amigas, my name is Tan316 and welcome back to another episode of Reading Your Comments. Is this 116 now? Yes, 116. It is Thursday, March 4th, or maybe Wednesday, March 3rd if you watch this a day early on Patreon. For those who don't know, the Patrons, you can be Patreon me for as low as $1 or £1, and you get access to the reaction videos, as well as reading your comments at least one day early, sometimes earlier. But regardless of what day you're watching this on, let's go ahead and read some comments. Think You'd Love the Only Fools and Horses episode T for 3. Dell and Rodney fighting over the same 5'10 woman. Mental Mickey episode is good and shows Dell at his scheming best. Dell and Rodney fighting over the same woman. I feel like I've seen at least 2 episodes where they fight over the same... How many episodes are there where they fight over the same woman? Great news about more Greenwing. How about doing Toast starring Matt Berry from the IT Crowd? Very funny. You know, I think the only time I ever heard about Toast was probably the IT Crowd reaction I did where Matt Berry first came in. I don't know anything about it. What kind of show is it? What's it about? What goes on? I get it wrong. Series 3 and beyond of Benidorm are hour-long episodes. About 45 minutes without adverse. Got you. BX Kid has been showing Benidorm regularly, so it may account for the low viewing figures. You know, I've had people say this stuff to me about some shows, but to be honest, I don't think what he does affects me, and I don't think what I do affect him. Like, I've seen my name mentioned in his comments as well, like, oh, you and Taff have been on the same schedule recently, so that might affect it. I know we probably share a lot of the same audience, but I really kind of doubt that what we do directly affects each other's viewing figures. Don't think you've done it, but the In-Betweeners Friends Reunited is pretty terrible. It's probably the worst piece of In-Betweeners media apart from the American remake. It might be worth watching. I love that ending. It might be... I love how you just shit on. It's like, yeah, it might be worth watching, though. Here's the thing. I'm tempted to do it simply because it would complete the In-Betweeners media set for me. You know? It would be the completion of every piece of In-Betweeners media, basically. But, like you said, I hear it's terrible. And isn't it like 2 hours? Like, if it was an hour, then I'd be like, yeah, alright. But 2? Christ, I just don't know about that. Will you ever complete the Cornetto trilogy? Probably, yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna do a reaction video to Shaun of the Dead because I have seen it before. Although, to be fair, it was a long time ago. I remember some of it, and all of it. I remember the ending, very weirdly, but I haven't seen it in a long time, so maybe we'll do one on that. At World's End, I have not seen at all, so we'll definitely do a video on that one. What's your funniest, most embarrassing story from your childhood? Man, I don't know if I remember really any embarrassing shit, because I feel like I blocked most of that from my subconscious, as I should. I feel like I blocked most of high school from my subconscious. I do remember a frustrating story. I guess it's kind of funny. It's like the dumbest thing I ever got in trouble for in school. It was very, very weird. So it was in middle school. So I was 12? 11 or 12. I think I was 11. I was like 11. So after school was over, I went into the building to go to the bathroom to go pee, because I had to pee. So I went to go pee, and there were 2 other kids who were in a class of mine in the bathroom, and they were screwing around, just screwing with the hairdryer, and I was just ignoring them, just watching my hands. And then one of the teachers came in, because she heard them screwing around, and pulled us all out into the hallway, and sat us there, saying like, oh, you guys shouldn't be screwing around in the bathroom. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just washing my hands. I didn't snitch them out. Like, I kind of did, I kind of didn't. I didn't say they were, you know, screwing around, but I said I wasn't, you know? So I'm like, I'm not doing shit. I'm just minding my own fucking business. And then our teacher walked by. Now, this teacher was a teacher of me and one of those kids. I had those 2 kids in a couple of classes, but just one of them and me were in that teacher's class. So she walks by, and the other teacher's like, you know them? And she points at me and that kid. Me and that kid. And says, do you know? No, yeah, I know them. They're in my class. And then after she leaves, the other teachers point at the 2 other kids who aren't me and say, okay, you can leave. So I'm like, So, the other kid was not one of the ones she pointed out. It was me. But she let the other two leave. So I'm still sitting there because I don't know if the other two kids snitched me out and I didn't hear it because I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. But she let them leave and they kept me there. And then she's like, do you understand what you did wrong? I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. I was using the bathroom after school. She's like, well, you were causing a disturbance there. I'm like, no, I wasn't. She's like, you were, and you were also not supposed to be in the bathroom in the building after school ends. I'm like, so I can't use the bathroom if school ends? She's like, you can't go in the building. I'm like, so I didn't say this, but I was thinking, okay, so I should just piss myself. Great. Because that's where the bathrooms are. They're in the building. And I walk home, and it takes me 30 minutes at the time to walk home, and I had to pee. So I guess I'm supposed to piss myself because the bell rang and school ended. So again, she reiterated, do you understand what you did wrong? Like, I didn't fucking do anything wrong. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And then, now at my school, at that middle school, there was these things called infractions, right? A 1-point infraction was like some minor deal, like you're late. A 3-point infraction was like a mid deal. It was like talking back or causing a ruckus or whatever, and a just being disturbance to class, stuff like that. And a 5-point infraction was like something bigger, something that could be considered for suspension, like fighting or whatever. So she's like, well, if you don't, fess up to what you did, you're gonna get a 3-point infraction. I'm like, what? Fess up to what? So she's like, do you understand what you did wrong? I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. I used the bathroom. And she's like, okay, well, you're getting an infraction then. I'm like, okay. So they literally took me to a fucking classroom. She wrote out an infraction for me. And she looks at me before she writes it. She's like, if you just apologize, then I won't write this. I'm like, what I'm like, what am I apologizing for? I didn't do anything. I had to pee. So I peed. The other two were the ones screwing around and you let them off. And I think I did snitch them out in that moment because in that moment I did say that. And she's like, well, it's not about them. It's about you. I'm like, no, it's not about me. I didn't do anything. And then she wrote the infraction. And I'm like, okay. And then I think I just threw it away as I was leaving. And that was the most frustrating story I can remember from my childhood. Because what the hell, man? I got in trouble. I got that on my school record. It didn't matter because I transferred schools after that year anyway because I moved cities. But I got in trouble for taking a piss. Which, God, that was strange. Will there be another bad education reaction soon? Yes, I've mentioned this before. I've already filmed it. I filmed it 2 weeks ago. The reason I never released it is because the copyright on the second episode is different from the first, so for whatever reason I can't put the second episode on YouTube, so I'm going to have to release it on Dailymotion, and because I don't want to do Dailymotion videos in a row, I have to organize a schedule, so it might not even come out next week. I don't know, because there's another Dailymotion video coming out on Friday, which means I'd like to do a YouTube video on Monday. And then I'm guaranteed to have a Dailymotion video on that Wednesday because was the poll winner, which means I want to do another YouTube one on Friday. So I might not be able to upload that, to be honest, until the 15th, maybe. But it will go up eventually. You should watch Friday Night Dinner. It's essentially the next best thing for the in-betweeners. Okay, I want to say what comes next here. I'm not making fun of you. You who wrote the comment. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying this is funny to me just because this is an inside joke on the Twitch chat, basically, because, first of all, I've done Friday Night Dinner. I've done 2 episodes of it. You can find them both on VO. But whenever somebody comes in Twitch chat over from YouTube, I'm not joking, 85% of the time, I think I've mentioned this before, 85% of the time, they open with these exact sentence, you should watch Friday Night Dinner. It's got Will from the In-Betweeners in it. Because most of them just know me as the In-Betweeners guy, and I feel like a lot of them haven't looked on the other stuff I have on my channel, or haven't searched, you know. Like, you could literally just put into YouTube Taft 316 Friday Night Dinner, and the videos would come up. But, yeah, that's why it's funny. I mean, I've done Friday Night Dinner, trust me, I have. If you want to watch them, they're on Via. Will I do more in the future? Probably, considering I'm constantly reminded about it. The girl who played Karen in Outnumbered, Ramona Marquez, turned 20 like 2 days ago. Holy shit. She's 20? I'm 22, so I'm like 2.5 years older than her. I don't turn 23 until June. That's mental. The good thing about Outnumbered is the kids weren't given a script, so what they say is natural. Can't think of another show which done this. Yeah, I think that was probably the best way they could have done that, because I don't know if any of you have ever heard of the golden rule of acting, but the golden rule of filmmaking, I think it is. I'm sorry, the golden rule of filmmaking, I believe, is never work with children or animals. The reason being you can't control them. And I mean, that's true. If you can't control kids, you know, they're fucking kids. You can't direct kids. So, I mean, not giving them a script and just having them act like kids, that's absolutely the best way to do it. That phone is never where it should be, a lot like at my house. You know, that brings up an interesting question. How many of you still have a landline? I kind of miss it, kind of don't. It was cool. I don't think I've had one since, like 2014, I think? Excuse me, 2013, 14. It's been a long time. Because we used to have the package deal, yeah, where it was, you get the internet, you get the cable TV, and you get the landline all in the package deal, yeah. But we canceled that like years and years ago. I don't think I've had cable TV in like 7 years, just to do the internet deal. Just that instead of the package. But so part of me kind of misses the landline, but at the same time, I don't have anybody to call. How many buckets of water does it take to fill an elephant, and would it take longer with custard? Sounds like an interview question. For what job? Outnumbered is brilliant, and Karen is a star. Seriously, I agree with you. Like, I mentioned this in the video, but like, you ever seen Child's Play? You ever seen Andy, the kid from Child's Play? He's probably the most adorable child to ever exist, but Karen has given him a run for his money. Only complaint I have about Outnumbered is that the mom and dad aren't more angry at each other. To be honest, or to be fair, I guess I should say, they got 3 kids. I imagine when you have 3 kids, you get too tired to be more angry. This Doctor Who episode used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. I don't blame you. That scene where Richard Wilson's face is transforming into the mask, like people can shit on the CGI all they want from the older show, and yeah, a lot of it's pretty bad, but that, I think, still holds up decently well. Like, that looked awesome. The Series 1 finale for Doctor Who is 2 parts as well, in case you didn't know. Can't wait for you to see that. Thank you for telling me. I actually didn't know that. So I will do probably something similar that I did with these 2 episodes with that when I get to it. Feel free to skip episode 11. Is it like more of like a filler episode? I'm not going to. I'm going to do it anyway, but I imagine it's more like a lesser filler type episode. Drinking age is open to interpretation in the UK. Sounds like weed in California. The Mainland is my favorite Father Ted episode too, and you've still got Flight in the Terror to see, which is great. Bit sad we're near the end of the Father Ted reactions, but it's been great watching the show with you all over again. Well, that's good. I mean, that's my goal overall, is to make sure you guys are having fun watching it with me. And yeah, it's really crazy. It's really, like, what was the date on... I know I didn't do it monthly originally, but if my YouTube studio will... I've gotten used to the new YouTube studio at this point compared to the old one. Like, everybody bitched about that at first, but I don't care anymore. But I gotta say, this new YouTube studio, while it's got a lot more interface and stuff, sometimes it just is slow as shit. Like, just now, I just tried to click on the video section, and it's just infinite loading screen. Like, honestly, I could probably find what I'm looking for easier by just going to I wanted to see what the date was on the first Father Ted episode. Okay, there we go. Jesus. I was literally just about to pull it up from my thumbnails. Let's check it down now. Let's see. Father Ted. The first episode I uploaded on April 11th, 2019. So we'll finish this a little after 2 years after we first started it. And then I did the second one in May. And then I didn't do the third one until October. And then I did one in December, and then after that, it became monthly, and then it became twice a month in November of last year, which obviously started bringing it along a lot more. And I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Aside from the most recent one, all of these videos have at least 10,000 views. Most of them have over 20,000. The first 13 of them all have over 40,000, which is crazy. And 3 of them have over 100,000. The first reaction has 104,000. The 5th reaction has 110. The 3rd reaction has 176, which is fucking crazy. Like, that's absolutely mental. That really is incredibly crazy. That blows my mind. So, yeah, I'm gonna miss the show too. I really am. It's been a hell of a ride. I know in the UK churches are exempt from taxes because they're not classified as businesses. Got you. Yeah, churches here get away with that as well. Like you don't tax the church here, so it's pretty easy to create a church in America apparently. So it's almost like a tax scam, to be honest. But like it's a legal tax scam. it's pretty interesting. I imagine that's why some people start random churches to get away from taxes, and also there's also these super mega churches as well, like these people who just use the religion and have these televised shows where people donate them a shitload of money, and none of it's taxable because they're a church. So it's like, Jesus Christ. I wonder when this conversation's going to come up, at least it may be anywhere, but none less in America, about taxing the church. You got to think it will be eventually, but it's probably a long ways off from now. Because I'll tell you what, I said before that America was not as religious as it was before, and that's true. I believe religion dropped by 13% in America in the 2010s, but it's still pretty religious. Like, I think the reason I personally feel like it's less religious is because where I live it is. I live on the West Coast, and I feel like the West Coast of the United States is a lot less religious, and I think that's true. There are obviously still some religious parts, like I'm sure there's some parts in NorCal, and I can't really speak for the individual parts of Oregon and Washington State. But as a whole, I feel like the West Coast of America is a lot less religious than other parts, especially the South. The South in America is like still incredibly religious. Once coronavirus ends, if anyone ever travels to America and you go to the South, like, just letting you know, it's very, very religious there. So, I mean, as far as the conversation goes, about stopping people abusing religion with these mega churches and possibly just taxing churches in general, I feel like it'll come eventually, but I also feel like we're a long ways off. Are you going to do this small, faraway documentary after the final Father Ted episode? Probably, yeah. I was talking earlier about possibly completing the media set with In-Betweeners. This would complete the media set with Father Ted, so I think I probably will. You gotta rank all the Father Ted episodes? Maybe. You know, I meant to do that at one point with the In-Betweeners. I've meant to do a couple ranking videos I didn't do. I was going to do, like, rank my favorite reactions of 2020 last year, but I was like, I was going to rank the In-Betweeners videos, and I was like, I don't know. I can't guarantee I will. I might just balk at it again. I'd like to, but I don't know. I just don't know. You should do the next Father Ted episode on St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is on a Wednesday this year, ain't it? So that would line up with my schedule. So, yeah, might just do that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for another episode of Reading Your Comments. The comments in this video were pulled from 5 videos. Actually, normally it's 4, but the schedule was different this week, so 5 videos. Last week's episode of Reading Your Comments, Reading Your Comments 1:15. American Rex to Gavin and Stacy 2. American Rex to Doctor Who 9. American Rex to Outnumbered 2. American Rex to Father Ted 10. And what was the other one? It was... Wait, Outnumbered. Wait, Reading Your Comments. Gavin and Stacy. Outnumbered. Doctor Who and Father Ted. Okay, no. This is 5. This is 5. I think that was correct. So yeah, the places to comment if you want a chance to get your comment read next week. This video, the reaction video that comes out on Friday, and a reaction video that comes out next Monday will be the places to comment to get a chance to get your comment read in next week's episode of Reading Comments. But that is going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, be sure to like it. If you didn't like it, don't. If you want to follow any of my social media links, my Twitter, I stream every single day. My second channel for listening views, my Twitter. If you want to follow me, my Patreon. If you want to support me on my daily motion, my VO. All those things are in the description down below. Again, thank you to all 62 currently on my Patreons who can't support me on my channel. If you don't know, you can Patreon on me for $1 or £1. You get access to the reaction videos as well as reading your comments a day early and get your name in the description. Also in the description is a link to community Reddit as well as the daily schedule as well as the Twitch VODs channel. With all that being said though, my name is Tafford16. It's been another episode of Reading Your Comments. I'll see you guys next time.